Well, I'm gonna really let somebody have it this week, and I think everybody knows who I'm gonna let have. Hey, Benedict Arnold, aka Doug Marrone, what are you thinking? Heck, 2 years. You led Buffalo to its first winning record since 2004. And what do? You turn chicken and run. You decide to opt out of the contract. Because, hey, you didn't like some of the decisions. You didn't get along with Whaley. You were unsure what the Pagulas were going to do. So what do? You sold out Central New York. You sold out Western New York. Hell, you sold out all of upstate New York, Benedict Arnold. What's the matter with you? Yeah, the thing probably came open down in New York City, so what do you want to do? You turn traitor. You want to go to the other team. Hell, it looks like the New York Jets are very interested in you. Looks like that's where you're going to head up. Well, you know what? Marrone, good riddance to you. You know, I kind of thought you were pretty cool when you led Syracuse back to a little bit of respectability. But then you went and you became coach for the Bills. And I thought you were going to become a pretty good coach. And you know what? You led the Bills to their first winning record in 10 years. Albeit, your conservative play calls on offense kind of confounded me and a lot of other Bills fans. Well, now, look what you do. You take cues from Bobby Petrino, who I think is the biggest yut since Jesus was an altar boy and everything. Well, you know what? There were plenty of yutses around, and you had to join a yuts, Bobby Petrino. And by the way, I'm not saying that Jesus was a yutz. You know, I really like Jesus, and I think he's really helped me. But you know, there were plenty of yutzes back in ancient times, too. But you know what? Marrone, Petrino, you deserve each other. Hell, Marrone, you couldn't even face your team. You had to leave them a text message saying, I opted out of my contract. Good luck to you. Hell, that's just like what Bobby Petrino did a few years ago when he left the Atlanta Falcons. Especially in that year when Michael Vick had the thing with the dogs. You know, I still don't think too highly of Vic. And you know, Bobby Petrino goes to Arkansas, does all that thing where he cheats on his wife and lies about it. Hell, you know, my opinion of you, Marrone, just went like that. Well, you know, good riddance to you. I'd like to say something else about Marrone and Petrino, but I don't want to offend everybody around this area. Well, you know, Marrone, Petrino, you two deserve each other. Goodbye, you jackass. Don't let the door at One Bills Drive hit you in the butt on the way out. And while I'm on the subject here, don't mean to go from that high to that low. But my hat's off here. And to the Cuomo family. They lost a guy there who led New York for 12 years. Mario Cuomo passed away a few days ago. He led New York State for 12 years. But you know what? Even though my condolences is to the family, I don't really hold a pretty good opinion of how he was as governor. There's some people around here, especially Pinky Cesare, the former mayor of Geneva, and now owns a restaurant there on Castle Street in Geneva, talking about how he helped that redevelopment of 5 and 20 to open up the lakefront there around Seneca Lake. Well, you know what? When he was governor, Cuomo did his best to run upstate into the ground. What did he do for upstate? Nothing. And we're still trying to recover from it, but guess what? I guess it goes another generation because his son is trying to do the same type of nonsense that Mario did when Mario was governor. And especially with that godforsaken SAFE Act. You know, it pretty much turned legal gun owners in New York State into criminals overnight when he passed it. Well, I was hoping Astorino would become governor because he would repeal that piece of shit legislation. But alas, everybody re-elected Andy Cuomo governor. But I mean, Mario, the Cuomo family, I am sorry for your loss. But I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't think he was a good governor. And I mean, my grandfather, God rest his soul, said it right, but I am not gonna say that on the air. And I mean, my grandfather wasn't disparaging about Italians either. He only said it 'cause that's what he felt about Cuomo. But I mean, Cuomo, you didn't do good as governor. But I am sorry to the family. But while I'm on the subject, I am gonna say my hat's off to Stuart Scott, a trailblazer for sports anchors and everywhere during his 21 years at ESPN. He really transcended how to be a great sports center anchor, especially when he was as cool as the other side of the pillow. And also, booyah! Of course, everybody wants to say booyah now. But I mean, he waged a valiant fight against cancer. 7 years he battled that dreaded disease. Stuart Scott, you were one of a kind. Rest in peace and say booyah on the other side of the pillow to others up in heaven, especially to another great ESPN anchor, Tom Mees. Hell, I still think of Tom Mees often, especially when he nearly got run over covering SU in Georgetown 30 years ago when Pearl Washington helped make the winning shot. But speaking of Syracuse, I will say, that was a pretty good victory against Cornell. But when the open ACC play, heck, they reverted to their old ways. Heck, they had a huge lead at halftime and nearly lost it all. And thank God they tipped that three-pointer, or else I think Syracuse might have lost to Virginia Tech. But whatever. We're now in the ACC play, Syracuse. You know, you gotta get with the program. Because, I mean, we are playing some of what we can call the cellar dwellers in the ACC coming up. Especially Georgia Tech. And especially Clemson. But, you know, we gotta get your act together. That's all I have time for this week. And you know what? Doug Marrone, goodbye. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story this week.